Honestly, that depth module would be more useful. And I think it maybe used it in the depth module upgrade. Ooh, ultra high capacity air tank and 4 lithium, that's all you need. Oh man, yeah, let's make that. Let's make that. Get ourselves some more air. That's useful. That's a new one. I think I have to take it out of my backpack. So it's not going to be lightweight. We won't have the enhanced maneuverability, but we're going to get more air, and I think that's arguably more useful. Yeah, that's a lot of air. I think it's like 100 more air, maybe. That's going to be useful. They always had the lightweight air tank option, but I think at one point it didn't do anything. I don't know if it does. I mean, I assume it does something now, but I don't know how much more maneuverability you get. I might have to compare them side by side to really get the idea out. We need silicone rubber for that, which we don't have at the moment. So we did need enameled glass, plasteel ingot, and magnetite. Oh yeah, so in between, or not in between, but when I had to take my short break, I ended up looking up a bit more about magnetite, because it used to only be found inside those mushrooms in that jelly shroom area. Pretty terrifying. I never really liked getting those. Apparently you can find them in a lot of areas, though most of them are dangerous with the exception of... Not enough space. Oh, it's not in a good spot. Most of them are somewhat dangerous with the exception of... The mountain biome apparently has it. Oh yeah, we need to make that too. Oh, and I got a double bed as well. I remember scanning that as I was quickly trying to run away. Let's try right there. I bet I could sit there. Yep, you could just sit here. You get actually a better look at your character. You can see he's got a, like a chest-mounted screen and a leg screen. That's pretty cool. And I think you get reduced food and water usage while you're sitting down. So while we're sitting down, let's look at some of these logs that we ended up coming across.
I thought it might get claustrophobic living underwater. Father feels it is. He'd tell me it was childish, but I stare out of the window and sometimes I think how lucky I am to see this world up close. Back on the island, I wouldn't have believed the creatures that live down here. The fish, they glow. There's one that's 90% eyeball. Snakes twice the length of a habitat compartment. Certainly, it's not all friendly. Most of the plant life is toxic. Learned that the hard way. But I've managed to coax some marble melons into growing indoors. And when they don't cover our dietary needs, well, we eat the fish themselves. It's a bit gross, but it's nothing they wouldn't do. I've been attempting to document my findings. Father approves. He says understanding is power, that the more we know about this planet, the more we can use it to our advantage. I'm just doing it because it's fun. It's not easy without proper equipment and network access, but the old-fashioned way, observing, taking notes, testing theories, shows me the world in a way a spectroscopic analysis never could. Lately, I've been watching the crab snakes. They ambush their prey as it tries to feed on the mushrooms they hide in. What they don't eat settles on the seabed, which fertilizes the mushrooms, which feeds the herbivores, and so the chain continues. Co-evolution gives me the fuzzies.
So that's something that we didn't look into too much, mostly because I'm scared to death of them, but if you swim a little too close to where one's hiding, it'll actually jump out and, like, bite you. It doesn't kill you right off, but it does do a pretty decent chunk of damage, as you would likely imagine. They're called crab snakes, by the way. I forgot to mention that. They're not jelly snakes or whatever I called them. And stalker tooth. This is going to be something that I kind of explained already, but here we go.
Something incredible just happened. Since we're down here, I had this plan to build equipment and study the life forms we were encountering, but I didn't have enough enameled glass. So, I started looking for a natural substrate that would strengthen the glass we have, and those stalker teeth we'd been finding fit the bill. Only, well, we needed more. That's when Marguerite got interested. She actually listened to me, more than I can say for Father. And I worked up the courage to talk about my more tentative theories. When I told her they were attracted to metal deposits, that their teeth get dislodged when they pick them up, her eyes narrowed and she dashed out of the room. 3 hours later, she came back, her pack loaded down with stalker teeth. I asked her about it. She shrugged and said my theories were good. Said she had the meeting out of the palm of her hand. I think she meant it literally. She is incredible. She went out to the kelp forest armed with just a heat blade and went fin to fin with a pack of stalkers. On the one hand, that is the coolest thing I have ever heard. On the other, I hope the stalkers didn't come off worse than Marguerite did. She had a huge gash on her forearm. I don't think things went as smoothly as she made out. And what's the point in surviving here if we have to kill everything that makes it so wonderful? I wish I knew more about these animals, but Father won't let me leave the habitat. Maybe with all this glass, we could build a containment unit and get up close to them.
Keep in mind this is the sun from the, I guess, crash landing that happened long before this. And then this is the last one where apparently the mercenary and his father are dead, and he's going to die soon as well. There's actually, I was thinking about showing you guys, but I don't know. I decided against it for one reason or another, but if you want to, there is a cinematic trailer where they actually show this audio line and they give a little visuals to go with it. It's actually pretty cool. It's intriguing. Paul Torgle's log dilemma.
You know what Maida told me today? She wants to build a habitat 500 meters below sea level, more than 1 kilometer northeast of here. And she needs Bart and I to do it. She's got it into her head that she can save us if she just acts recklessly enough. But I've hauled Star Wars to Neptune, Plasteel to the Federation. This family operates 9 different mining colonies across the Ariadne Arm. Maida thinks she's better suited to lead. Her contract still says otherwise. But I just cannot damn well tell whether it's the stupidest idea I ever heard, or my only hope. I turned 80 years old last week. I thought I had another 80 in me, but marooned on this planet, there's no swapping out of my liver when the old one fails. Here, I'm mortal. And Maida is useful. So, it's my responsibility to make a decision. Return to the island and hope whatever knocked the Degazi out of the sky won't do the same to the rescue ship. Or take us deeper in search of answers. And all the while be hoping old age gets me before the sea monsters do. I'll give Maida just one thing. She was right about these caves. There's enough lithium there to fabricate 100 tons of plasteel. Enough for a damn fleet of Cyclops submarines. There was nothing anyone could have done to avoid crashing here. But I was right to order the detour. If we get off this planet, they'll be talking about the Torgal share price on the other side of the Federation.
Of course, you know, we know that's not going to happen. Water filtration system. The filtration system draws water unfit for human consumption from an external source, automatically splits it into its constituent parts, and outputs consumable liquid water and salts while disposing of any harmful byproduct. Can be built in any compatible habitat module, but has substantial power requirements. Yes, sir, any liquid. Let's see. Oh yeah, because I never looked at these things. I might as well get all the new item messages out of the way. For most of them, anyway. Anyway. That was a little bit of a wait, but not bad. Okay, so we made a water. You see it's plus 50 H2O. These are extremely good. They take up, the same amount of inventory space as the smaller bottles of water, but they're very good. They also make a ton of salt, which obviously, as we know, can be used to make water, but it does require a bit more work to it, so our water situation is more or less like solved now. Not that it was ever in particularly any danger, but it's a whole lot easier now to deal with it. Let's see how it's dealing. Okay, so it's eaten through a couple of those lantern fruits. Not entirely surprised. We'll have better options to feed it later, but for right now, the lantern fruits are doing a pretty good job. And I ate it again. Dang it. I accidentally put it in my mouth instead of in the machine. So I want to make that depth upgrade, but I need magnetite, so we might go back to the island to grab that. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to do right now. I kind of do want to make the solar upgrade, the solar charger. Just so I can also make the perimeter defense system as well. What do I need for the advanced wiring kit? Need a regular wiring kit, 2 gold, and a computer chip. That requires a bit of resources. So I think I need some more silver. Yeah, I need some more silver. I've got enough gold, and then I'd have to make a computer chip, which I need some more copper for. Ah, man. It's a never-ending escapades of more stuff. It's okay, though. Trying to figure out exactly what I want to do next. We've got more or less enough depth to reach that. We could definitely reach that one, assuming it's not in a radiation area. I'm actually kind of curious about some of that, so maybe let's put on some radiation clothes. The full suit so I can actually get somewhere. We're gonna put the rebreather for the time being in here. So I can swap it out later if I want. The only negative thing is...
Welcome aboard, Cap Systems.
It's right below us. Oh, I think I know. I kind of have an idea where that one might be. I do kind of find it annoying that you have to go to the outside of the vehicle to access the storage modules, but it's not too bad. So give me a second to get over here. We'll be back. So I thought I'd show you guys a little technique. It's actually pretty interesting for getting stalker teeth. So I was going to do this eventually, but I figure we might as well do it now, considering that it's pretty useful stuff. So stalkers, as we know, like metal. And the trick that you get is basically that you throw out a bit of metal, the stalkers grab it, they bite the metal, and they lose a tooth, usually. But the secret to getting lots of metal generated pretty quickly for you is to find a place where there's a couple stalkers patrolling around, and then either find or throw a piece of metal out for them, and they'll keep fighting for it. And they'll keep stealing it from each other, and they'll keep dropping teeth. This is not the most optimal spot, but it's okay. And you will occasionally take a bit of damage, but it's usually repairable, and you can usually get away pretty quickly. So that's what I'm doing right now. I wasn't planning on grabbing a ton of them right now, but I found a decent spot for it, it looked like. Just have to avoid hurting him too much or you kill him. But I figured I'd try to pick up a few here and there. That'll make construction later on easier, along with some little side projects I want to do. See, this one's not... Oh, God. This one's not bad. Because there's a piece of metal here. and they're each going to fight over it, which means they're going to keep dropping teeth around. The problem is when they're too clustered together like this, it can be kind of hard to get out and grab the teeth without getting attacked too much. The stasis gun helps a lot for this, and it's something I usually make when I'm actually hunting for teeth. But if you're quick, you don't really need it. This guy's super upset about what's going on around him. Anyway, I'm gonna swim in and grab these. You kind of gotta be quick, is the thing. If you're not quick, that's how you get hurt. Quick progress report. I kind of want to wait for it to be daytime before I keep going, but I've got a lot of stalker toots now, so we can start playing around with them a bit and not worry too much about running out. You know, using up a kind of valuable resource. They're not entirely valuable. You can find them, but it does take a bit of time because you kind of have to find a good spot and then wait for them to fight for a while before you can get a decent amount of them. You can't just, you know, pick them up as you go along or, you know, get them normally. You kind of have to farm them a bit. Alright. So we're going to head over there. I've got my full radiation suit on, so I shouldn't be in danger of getting irradiated. I am slightly worried that that may be a tiny bit close to the ship, which if it is, we are going to be making a U-turn immediately. I think we're okay right here, though. We might actually be running into a new biome area that we haven't seen yet, which is kind of cool. Here's a wreck. Alright then. I'm gonna need you to stop that. I'll beat the crap out of you. Let's investigate this wreck. See, the nice thing about the radiation...
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
Wow, there's nothing in here. The nice thing about the radiation is it sort of acts as an early warning system that you're getting too close to the ship, because there are some dangerous predators near the ship that I'd currently like to not deal with. So when I've got the whole radiation get up on like I do now, I'm losing that early warning, and I've got to keep a close eye on what I'm doing. Is that a forklift? It is a forklift. Hey, there's a table. I think that's a new one.
New blueprint acquired.
I don't think there's anything here for me. So we're going to keep going that way, but I am going to surface occasionally and make sure I'm not getting like too close to this thing. We are approaching a little bit close to the thing. I'm going to try to circle this way a bit. I think it's safer this way. Here's some more jelly shroom forests. A little bit less dark than the last time we explored them. Wonder if we'd find anything interesting here if I looked around. Or just ran myself into a jelly, into a mushroom forest or whatever. I actually have no idea what the name of anything is. I call things everything, don't I? Ah, there he is! I was looking for this guy earlier. This is... I'm not even going to try to call you a name because I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget what you're actually called. That's a guy. This place is kind of cool. Though, it's doubtful we'll get to explore it too much. Let me surface and see where we're at. Oh, I saw an enemy for just like a tiny little bit there. Oh, we're near the island. Yeah, that thing is still a little close to where I don't want to be. Might need to wait till we get the bigger submarine for that. But then again, we kind of got to keep exploring stuff to get more blueprints, so I can actually explore things safer. Alright. We're going to get out for a quick second and do some scans. Old bush. Alright. Let's get back in. Whoa! What the heck? Get in! Get in!
Activity and several unusual electromagnetic signatures in the region. Exercise caution when diving deeper.
We've got bush sample. It's actually got a lot of liquid in it. It's kind of cool. So yeah, those guys are dangerous. I don't know how dangerous because I never really messed with them, but they look dangerous. They have electricity that they zap things with, I think. Some more of those guys. They're not too dangerous when we're in here, but they will, like most of the other creatures, kind of try to bang us up a bit. Yeah, there they are. I'll get you a better look at them. Try not to get too close. Because I think they'll do a bit of damage to the submarine if I get too close. I don't know. I'm kind of not feeling it. What is this? This is a bit of wreck. Ooh, that's a big one too. Look at that. I don't know if we've explored this wreck. I'm gonna assume not, because it's closer to the ship than I'd want to be, and we're probably in a radiation zone. I don't immediately see anything like incredibly dangerous, but you know, I don't know how long that's gonna be for. Let's get in. Oh yeah, these things are kind of cool.
New blueprint acquired.
So the thing about the power transmitters is a lot of times where you're generating power isn't necessarily where you want to use it, right?
Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
I know. Where you're generating electricity isn't where you necessarily want to use it. Like, if you're generating electricity from those really hot hydrothermal vents, well, that might not necessarily be where you want to, you know, use that power. Ah, here's an alternate spot for that. Okay, fair enough. So the power transmitters allow you to make a chain and transfer the power, presumably wherever you want. I assume there's a hard limit at some point. But it's useful. Like, let's say, for example... Okay, where is this? I think we might be okay down here. I think I already got this. I'll take some more titanium, though. And let's go out of here and get some oxygen. That's going to be a problem pretty soon. Let's say, for example, I've got a really deep base under the ocean. Solar panel does not work super well. But... Oh! I think that creature zapped me through the wall.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
But let's say, yeah, one of them zapped me through the wall. That, honestly, I don't even know if they do much damage, but they scare the crap out of me. You want to transfer solar panel from way up at the surface, or near the surface where it's pretty, you know, actually useful to down in the bottom of the ocean where you're going to actually use it. That's what it's useful for, basically.
Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased.
I don't think there's anything down here. Oh, here we go. Gotta put it in my hotbar. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be a lower tier wreck. I should have run into this earlier and I would have found some stuff earlier. But I already got everything in here. Other than that power transmitter, that was actually a mildly useful one. Really, I'd say the only thing I'd ever want to actually use it for is the transferring thermal power somewhere, you know? Hey, what do we got? Cyclops sonar upgrade. Alright.
New blueprint acquired.
Free battery. Light stick fragment. Already got. And a PDA.
Integrating new PDA data.
Alright. Well, didn't get a whole lot from this one, but we got a little bit of interesting stuff. I don't know how safe we are right here, but I'm going to take a chance and wait here while I look at this stuff. Is there a fish attacking me? Yes, there is. This is a big bulb, dude. Oh, we're so close. Alright, I'm gonna go to it. And if anything scary happens, we're going to immediately turn around. I don't see anything right off. I mean, I'm talking about scary stuff. These guys aren't exactly scary. They make me nervous, but I don't know if I'd truly call them scary. Now, if he could get a little bit away from this life pod, I'd investigate it. He keeps coming back. Oh, there's some more ruby here. Oh, there's another creature here. Oh, I think he made that sound. That thing is called a mesmerize something. If you're swimming, I don't know if they do it while you're in a sub, but they'll actually, if you look at them, they'll transfix you into keeping looking at them, and they'll get closer to you, and I think they'll bite you or something.
Passing 200 meters. Oxygen efficiency greatly decreased. New blueprint acquired.
I didn't even pay attention to what any of that was.
Integrating new PDA data.
Let's get out of here. Finally investigated it. I don't really want to be back here anymore. There are a few hot spots. If you didn't mind dealing with the shocking enemies shocking you through the walls, then you could generate some decent power that way. That guy's infected. Not that we aren't, but, you know, like calling him out. I would stop here, but there are a couple fish in here, like that guy, who might beat me up while I'm reading stuff. I want to find a decent spot to actually stop and read. You'll also notice that, even on this rather long trip, I'll probably get back with over, 50% battery left. So, the only thing I would find that, those battery modules useful for is if I was using the defensive upgrades. A little repair. Small but brave. I think we're in a decent spot. Let's take a look. Charter. Transgov, an independent authority and de facto control of at least one... this is a bunch of, like, definitions. I'm going to skip them. Read them quickly. So, talking about the charter, I guess? And this is what we actually went down there for. I'm not really... Oh, yeah. This one's got audio.
I'm not really a doctor. I know that's what my ID says, but I never have been. Cheated the medical exams. What does a doctor these days need to know about manually resetting bones? When was the last time a top surgeon actually cut someone open? That's what the robots are for. Doctors these days read diagnoses off of computer readouts. For that, I'm perfectly qualified. But what good is it when I'm not connected to the main network? I'm bleeding. I've got glowing green pustules growing on my hands. I run a self-scan and it tells me I've got skin irritation. The only thing I studied in medical school was how to lie convincingly. What the hell do I know about how to treat an alien disease? I think I'm actually going to die down here.
Well, you weren't wrong, I think. Repulsion cannon. Oh, yeah, it's an upgrade. Is that what I picked up? I think that's maybe that. I think that might have been the blueprint I picked up. Power transmitter. That looks cooler than it used to. I think it just used to be like a stick. So I'm glad they updated that. Cyclops sonar upgrade. That might be kind of cool. Repulsion cannon. And then fish. Okay. Fair enough. There's one more thing here somewhere. Oh, the bulb bush.
Seek fluid intake.
I know. Edible in small quantities, high water content. Well, you know what we might do? I don't normally do a lot of this, but we might do a little bit of outdoor farming and maybe grow one of them. Just for fun. There's actually some use to starting small outdoor underwater farms. In fact, if we come across a kelp forest, that might be useful to grow some kelp as well. How much space do I have in my inventory? Oh yeah, we got plenty. Let's grab a couple. So there's two ways to grow kelp, and I'm just going to save us some time by telling you, if you grab just like a regular piece of kelp that you cut off, you'll make like this kind of sickly, crappy kelp. Not very good for actually growing them. And I think they don't grow back, if I'm not mistaken. Or they do something. It's like a really poor quality thing. You actually have to grab the seed clusters, and then they'll grow full kelps again with full seed clusters. That's the thing. If you grow kelp without the seed cluster, I think it grows more kelp without the seed cluster, something like that. So it's better to actually grab a seed cluster, and you can have normal kelp with all the benefits and everything.